What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. Sporty on the left side of the map in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Nullus. Use your town center to kill the rhino. There we go. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Count Von Count. You've got to count your Vons and Von your counts, otherwise who knows what's going to happen. Cavalry count currently up 1-0 in this best of 5 series, round of 16 Divine Intervention tournament, starting the series off really, really nicely. But he is now moving into what we call one of the more difficult matchups. Now, this matchup is in the game simply on the fact that I have seen Poseidon do well in this matchup. Now, a lot of Poseidon players are out there saying this matchup might be really, really challenging for Poseidon. They might be right, and maybe this matchup shouldn't exist in this tournament. But I've seen Matrius do well in this matchup against the best Oranos players. And what that means is it's possible to win with Poseidon here. You just have to play it well. So that's why this matchup is in here. As opposed to I've seen like certain other matchups and not even the best players lose to like the weakest of the weakest in other matches. Anyways, I'm not trying to start a riot here. I'm not trying to make anything. I'm not trying to make any statements, any solidified statements. We'll see how Count Von Count's going to go. He does get hit with, in a way, a decent gold mine, and in a way, a bad gold mine. So what is decent about this gold? One, he has a forest on it. This makes it much easier to defend. Two, he's got a tower on it. This makes it much easier to defend, but it's on the front of his base, which makes the army going to be able to push into this really easy. Now, obviously, if the gold mine was at the back here, it would feel a lot better because even though there's kind of an opening to hit the gold mine at the back, it's a little bit tougher to raid that one, a little bit tougher to attack that one, and all the other good stuff that comes from that. But we'll see what Count Von Count's going to go for here. Now, in my experience, I've actually found that going for a classical fight here with Poseidon is actually the way to go. As everyone goes, what are you talking about? Greek goes to town center of it against Oranos. Now, the idea here is that Poseidon, there is this timing that hits Greek in the classical fight where you can't win the game anymore. And that timing, you have to be aware of it. And you just have to click Ceasefire. And then you catch up on the army size. And then you win the fight. And then you win the game. So Ceasefire is the most important of God powers in this matchup. Using that Ceasefire in the right way is going to allow you a chance to win this game. Now, if you want to go for a second town center, you can, but it makes the game difficult with Poseidon. I don't know why it feels like, I guess it's because you don't have restoration. Restoration seems to be the better of God powers for Greek versus Oranos, but for some reason it doesn't work the same with the Ceasefire. And we'll see how it goes, but I think the one thing that a lot of people forget with Poseidon against a one town center play of Poseidon against Oranos versus, say, Hades or Zeus is that Poseidon gets the cheaper cavalry. And while it might not seem like a lot, it does end up mattering. Cheaper cavalry, cheaper stables, those sort of things in the early game against a god that is so strong in the early game do matter. So you can make it work here with Poseidon, with the classical fight. You open up stable hoplite into archers, click Ceasefire in the right moment, get yourself to 115 population, get yourself your second town centers, get yourself secured in the game, and you can find some advantages. All right, so we'll see how things are going to go here. Count's got 6 villages on wood. He's got 6 villages on gold. He's going for a second town center, but where is he going for the second town center? Does he go for the side one, nice and safe, but not a whole lot on it? Does he go for the forward one and try and defend that while he tries to get that up? You really don't want to go for the forward town center and click Ceasefire, though. That can be a difficult thing to do, but we are, in fact, seeing Count von Count hitting the Theseus Katoskopos harass in the early game. This is a lot of damage to come through onto this position as the villagers are going for this town center. We see the Promethean offspring coming in, but if you leave your centaur on this position, he can survive there. You can make that more than easy to defend, as we do see the Theseus now retreating away from those Oracle heroes are a little bit too much for him to deal with. He's just going to pull all the way back home. Promethean offspring are coming through as this centaur took out an Oracle, but now the villagers are under attack here. We do see Count turning around, going to be shanking this, but he really shouldn't be wanting to shank this all too much. He does retreat away. The centaur going to be coming through here. Can he snipe that one down? Yes, he can, as now the villagers back onto the town center, but there are now units moving in onto this position. Do we see Hippolyta coming in? The Hippolyta is not queued up just yet. Oracle heroes coming in. There is room for a shockwave to delay this if Nullus wants to. Alternatively, you can just take the fight here and see what happens. Very low HP villager here gets shanked down. We do see Count trying to retreat away. Not able to make it happen. Town center is up. Count von Count gets the forward town center up. Doesn't lose anything but a villager there. He's going to be happy about that position, the position he's in now. He does have some board that he can drag in underneath this town center. Maybe not all the way, but these are relatively safe here to hunt. If he puts a granary down here, he can drag a couple more, maybe even drag those forward ones over onto this position as well, as we see a stable, a military academy coming up. One of the big differences between Hades and Poseidon 2 town center is no sentinels, meaning this forward town center is super open to harassment. So you can't just go upgrades. You have to get your units out. But luckily, Poseidon does have the cheaper Hippocons, so it kind of makes up for that in a way. And we'll see if that's going to be the case here, as Count, he hasn't put down a granary here, and I think this is a bit of a mistake, because these villagers, that's a lot of walking time here. The granary takes, what is it? I always forget. I think it's 14 seconds. 14 seconds to build a granary, and these villagers are taking around 2 seconds, 3 seconds to get back to the hunt, so it's well worth it to just drop the granary down. Especially because you're going to be hunting all these boars. Anyways, units swinging around. And we do see Count starting up. He's getting himself husbandry now. The villagers over here are really out in the open. And this is kind of the challenge for Poseidon. How do you defend like every different bit of your resources? A wall here would be amazing. A wall over here would be really nice. Or maybe a wall down onto this archery range here to retreat back. We do see the centaur coming over here to try and defend on this position. One very low HP Murmillo going to get sniped down. I imagine there as the berry bushes do get finished up. There will be a Valor available there, as Shockwave does get thrown down, hitting all those villagers, and the low HP Murmillo is in. We do see a Toxotes coming in. That one might get sniped down. Count von Count needs to retreat away here, and there we go. That Toxotes in a bit of trouble does garrison into the watchtower, not watchtower there, but the sentry tower, as the Toxotes retreating back stays alive. Good play there from Count von Count. What is the plan here for Nullus now? Nullus always going to be the safer of the Oranos players, of the Atlantean players, of Age of Mythology players. He's always going to opt in for that booming route rather than going for an all-in aggressive play, as he grabs his back town center. And I think the big thing that Nullus needs to identify here to find a solid advantage in this game, and same too for Count von Count, is that the gold mines aren't really that safe here in this game. A very strong timing attack is going to be really good here. Great micro from Count von Count in this fight. He is doing a great job of pushing these units back, as we do see Nullus now up to 2 town centers. Will he go for the 3rd town center, or will he pump units out? He's still making himself Turmer and Murmillo, so this kind of means he's going to stay on 2 town centers for the time being. That might be advantage Count von Count if he can play it well, but he does lose Hippocon up here for the trade of a Turma. Not the best of trades. Probably could have retreated away and kept that one alive, and Count needs to get himself back into position and defend his base. But hand axe, pickaxe coming through now. I like this this kind of recognition. I don't know if that's the right word. He's recognized that Nullus has gone 2 town centers, and Count cut military units to just give him that little bit of an uptick on economy there by getting himself hand axe and pickaxe and then starting his military production again. This will mean he needs to be on the back foot a little bit more than he otherwise might like, but his income is going to be much more tough to deal with, as now medium infantry is coming through, villagers moving in onto these giraffe. Still building Termi here. One thing that I don't think is an awful idea on the high hunt maps here for Oranos is to open a couple of turbo, but then go into Murmillo catapultes. We don't see that enough, especially with the cavalry of Poseidon on this position. As Count retreating back. One easy way to defend these villages here would be like a wall that just swings down here, and then he could leave his units back in this position, no problems, as the army pushing in. There is always an opportunity here to just click ceasefire for Count von Count now. Count does not need... This is the timing I'm talking about. Right now is the timing I'm talking about. If Nullus forces a fight, all Count needs to do is click ceasefire, and he's going to be able to get up to that full population or close enough. Obviously, you have to wait for Nullus to want to commit. He's going to be pushing in, getting some good damage here, but this little amount of damage is not the biggest of deals. Possibly just put the Toxotes into the town center. You can keep those alive so he can't do this, but leaving them out, especially facing backwards there, is always you're gonna have a lot of pain there. But a couple of Terma do end up falling. No Terma falling. There's so much good damage coming through for Nullus on that one, as we see another military academy getting dropped down. Nullus now 124 of 130 population. Do we see a third town center coming up anytime soon? Answer, not just yet. Count still kind of being a little bit wary about these villages, positioning a little bit forward, taking this fight. This is the ceasefire moment. You do not take this fight as Count. He's down 20 population here. The Terma here is here, and there's the ceasefire. That's not an awful timing there on that ceasefire, but I would have liked to see it before the fight happens, because all these units are low HP. Now, Count needs to get himself medium infantry, medium cavalry, get himself out more of those military units, ensure that he's got everything out that he possibly can, and he should be in a good position. We see a town center coming up now for Nullus to try and keep himself in a good position. Walls need to come down over here to defend this gold mine and defend this hunt. And he should be in a good position here moving forward, more military academies coming up, archery ranges coming up. He does need to position his army a little bit better. In terms of army HP, it's probably relatively similar here. And I'm still not liking the positioning that Count von Count's going for. Maybe even just going for a box formation type thing to keep those Toxotes nice and alive and well. He could also consider sitting those Hippocon over here to deny that town center from going up, as Nullus is now going to be heading to the next age here. As the hoplites, Toxotes pushing forward. Obviously, Count von Count now, he can take this fight, and he's going to be really happy about doing so. Hippocon not going to be engaging this one. He doesn't need to fight with those Hippocon against those Murmillo. As a nice little choke point here, though, for Nullus at the moment. But these Hippocon over here, they will be kind of winning this fight. They're outnumbering in a big way here, as Shockwave does get dropped down onto this position. Hoplites pushing forward. Hippocon do manage to get in onto those Terma on the back. The Toxotes being Shockwave here is a problem there for Count, as he's managing to take this fight. Population differential very, very close here. Nullus being kept in the classical age for just a little bit longer after this fight goes on. The 3 citizen getting pushed off of that location there, as well as Nullus is now going to be in for the retreat path there, as the villagers getting onto this town center. He does start to shake that one down. Will he be able to stop this town center? Yes, he does. Hippocon going after the citizens here, as Toxotes pushing forward to deny this town center. That is absolutely huge, as this town center on the back here for Count von Count is going to be going up. He needs to chase these units. Nullus notices this. He's going to be denying this town center, as well as both players will be staying on 2 town centers for the time being, though maybe Count von Count has got enough units out to defend over here. And with this town center being denied, this is gigantic. 1 citizen down, 2 citizen down. This is such a great play from Count von Count, bringing 2 villages as well as the military units over there, as the army on this position here for Count, taking out Murmillo over here. We do see the Promethean moving forward here to help out. There's no heroes on this position, so the Promethean are going to be a really, really big assistance here, as the citizen getting pushed off of this position. 1 very low HP citizen on this position here can get taken out, as Count going to continue to get damage done over on this position. We do see the villagers over here trying to shank down. Not really enough to defend here, as this town center over here going to get denied, as we do see a Promethean coming through to try and hit this position here, as more citizen moving over onto this position to get the town center up, as the Promethean going to be taking out those Toxotes, and it looks like a little bit of a win on that fight. Town center on the back here, up for Count von Count. He's going to be stoked about this. Still no defensive buildings down on this position here for Count. He needs to get those walls up, because the raids, at some point, Nullus is going to recognize that there's going to be where is Count getting gold? He's not getting gold over here. So where else could he be getting gold? He's not getting gold over here. If we take a look at Nullus's perspective here, he knows there's a gold mine here. So he basically knows that that's where the gold is. All he has to do is make that connection that that's actually what's going on. As the villagers coming back onto the town center. Hippocon, is he going to be able to snipe down this citizen or not? 6 HP here. Nullus comes in with a path block. Beautiful path block there from Nullus. As now he moves through with those Murmillo, and he will be starting to hit these villagers. No walls up for Count von Count means max damage going to be coming through here for Nullus. And where is Count von Count's army? It's nowhere to be seen. He is going to be taking a lot of pain here as those villagers need to retreat away. There's 17 villagers here in this position as Count distracted over here. He's not paying attention. Units attacking the town center in full flight there as the villagers are going to be retreating off of this position, trying to keep as many alive as he possibly can. Farms are up in the main base here for Count. You can put farms on the front over here as well. As the army comes through here, town center, 1900 HP, citizens getting taken down in the center of the map. So return fire is real here as Count does decide, counterattack is always going to be worthwhile. But the chaos starting now is finally some walls coming up around this gold mine. These Murmillo can just turn and hit that though if they really want to, but the town center is up for Nullus now. Nullus is going to pop up to 145 population really, really quickly here. And I think the Count von Count here is just taking too much damage in this position to defend himself. We'll see if he's going to be able to. He does have a Hippolyta here to take out those Murmillo, those Promethean there, and the Theseus is here as well as the hoplites do pop out. More units are coming in here for Count von Count. He's spending his resources decently. Lots of gold in the bank. Needs some food. That's the problem that he's in at the moment, is a lack of food as he gets kind of caught out, gets sandwiched on this fight here. Hippolyta gets taken out. Count going to be retreating back to his town center. The town center is helping out on this position, but the army is just so strong for Nullus in this position, and Count has not found himself being able to stabilize here after such a great job of denying the third town center of Nullus first and foremost. But that one raid, that one slip up from Count von Count has given Nullus the go-ahead to be absolutely all-out aggressive right now. Count also sending a whole bunch of villagers onto the temple there, potentially to start making some centaur or something. I'm not sure what the idea is there. As storehouses coming up on this position on the front. No watchtowers up. So much gold in the bank still for Count von Count. He could take villagers off of this and try and come back over onto these giraffe over there if he really wants to. But the army just cleaning Count von Count's army up so well here. Pickaxe coming through, hand axe coming through for Nullus to start getting his economy going. But Nullus doesn't care about this town center here. It's doing a tiny bit of damage compared to the amount of damage which Nullus is doing at 14.52 times 2 damage. That's like worth maybe 4 population, but there's so many villagers that are going to be falling here in this position as Nullus now going to be hitting the gold mine over here. Obviously, Count's got plenty of gold in the bank here as the units have all ran away from this position. The 3 villagers over here will get raided as these villagers will make it over onto these giraffes. Just a little bit of hunt there. What else has he got here? Nothing really, as the Promethean are going to be moving forward here. What's the plan? Trying to grab this gold mine is the plan, it seems, for Count von Count. Thea has been clicked up for Nullus as the Prometheans searching around for something to do. These villagers here pulling away. They're barely out of line of sight. I think here, just barely out of line of sight of Nullus. They're not really out of line of sight at all, as the villagers here have been spotted to some degree by those citizens. As Nullus says, you know what? Promethean offspring, run forward, attack this location, no problem. And he's going to be getting a gold staff here started. And with 690 gold, 800 gold in the bank, I don't think it's probably enough to get him up to full population. Maybe, I'm not sure. But he needs to get his villagers to safety here and get himself back into the game somehow. Thea through so many resources in the bank for Nullus. Nullus can rush Mythic Age here, drop a Tartarian Gate if he wants to, or he can just go full upgrades in the Heroic Age and continue this gold staff, sending units forward to drop a Sky Passage down here. Sky Passage in the middle as well would not go astray. As the army coming over onto this position, Theseus going to be taking down some of those Promethean offspring, as we'll see how this game eventuates, but it's not looking great for Count Von Count here at all, as his gold miners not working, getting targeted down, going to be shanking down the Mamilo. You know that when villagers are shanking down Mamilo, life is getting very, very tough because these units are really, really strong, as Count Von Count here on this position gets shockwaved. He's trying to get some damage done onto Nullus' gold, trying to return fire here, trying to find some sort of an advantage, but he's now down to 200 gold, 106 population remaining. Arcus, heavy Arcus to boot here, moving in to cause pressure as the Hippolyta popping out for Count Von Count. Is he getting any favor for the Centaur? Not really, as the Citizen are getting pushed back, but Count has to know there's more than one gold mining operation going on, as Nullus is at the top gold mine over here as well. He's on the back gold mine here as well. He's got a market set up. He can start a trade route if he so chooses. Town center starting to get targeted down, but it does look like somehow, some way, Count has defended here. He's down to 50 villages though. That's a decent amount to stay alive, but he's still in for a challenging time moving forward. There's a forward palace down now as well, which means destroyers are going to start coming through for Nullus in the near future, as the Citizen can all come over onto that gold over there if they want. The Hippocon does get taken down in the main base. Still looking for raids. Count Von Count is one of the best raiders kind of in the game, and he's never going to stop raiding you. So you do kind of need to get set up with your walls, and you can even see him just going, you know what, I'm just going to use these Hoplite Toxoid, trying to find something to harass, some little bits of damage to harass there, as he's now up to 101 population, 124 population for Nullus. Gold mine kind of secured here. Still, if he can even just get a wall down over here, this will help him defend this position. But now, with destroyers starting to come through, and Nullus is going to be able to continue to put more and more palaces down onto this position, life is going to get really, really tough here. Hippolyta can take out those Dryads relatively fast. He doesn't have a Theseus out here to clean that one up quickly, though. So it will take some time here, and Nullus' army just looks a little bit too strong for Count Von Count here. 2 destroyers onto this town center. It takes a while to take it down. They do 5.5 damage times 400, so like 20 damage, 24 damage-ish, 22 damages, excuse me, a second, taking the 44%, so about 11 damage a second, roughly, onto this town center, which is a big amount of damage, as well as those Dryads hitting that one, and the Murmillo. And in that moment, Count Von Count does tap out, and you can see it as bright as day, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it as bright as day. Count Von Count was in a position here which I think most people would say is a winning position. Given no mistakes after that position he was in, he played it really nice. He hit the ceasefire in the right position. That was perfectly the right call. He probably didn't need to force the issue. He may have been able to force Nullus to jockey back and forth for another minute or so and get himself up the upgrades he needs to actually take the fight. Probably would have been possible there as well, because, I mean, Nullus doesn't really want to fight there. The ball almost expired. Maybe or maybe not. Count didn't need to click the ceasefire there, but Count was in a position here on 3 town centers before Nullus was on 3 town centers. The only thing that he made the mistake of doing was coming out here and grabbing these giraffe. He didn't need to. He needed to wall this off. He needed to wall up over here to his own buildings and make sure there's no way around onto this gold mine without attacking the walls first and alerting Count Von Count so we can at least retreat away. And he should have just dropped farms in his main base. That would have been the way forward. He was in such a good position. He just needed to make sure his economy was safe and head to the heroic age, head to the mythic age. If you got to the heroic age, I think most people would say this game gets out of reach from the Oranos side of things. But you know what? Count Von Count, not strong enough here. Nullus finds the dub. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.